coming years. But we're joined by Lili Ben Ami, the founder and the CEO of the Michal Sela Forum. Look, thanks for joining us on this. A lot of questions, in terms of the process that we just went through, the months of debate to see a final version come through. I understand there's some issues with it. Look, that perhaps it's limited, to I think 200 people per year being tracked. I'm not sure if I have all the details, but look, from your perspective, is this an adequate step to protecting, look, face it, primarily women and children from domestic abuse?
First of all, this law is life-saving law. Today in Israel, you have more than 10,000 women in Israel that they are threatened, and a court of law had a restraining order in order to protect those women. Out of these 10,000 women, you have 1,000 different women in shelters.
Wow.
The restraining order is just a piece of paper. And those violent predators, they don't necessarily obey the law. They don't necessarily obey the judge. So he just goes and breaks the restraining order. And the woman is facing over threat to her life, and she needs to live in fear. She can't be free. Now, this is the bracelet, the electronic bracelet. It's very simple technology.
Pretty small.
It's, like GPS technology, and it's working very successfully in more than 7 states in the world, and it saves lives. It gives those women freedom. And it took us nine years to put this law to success, to put it in the Knesset, so they will pass it. And yesterday, the law passed, and we are very, very excited. There is 2 main issues that we want to address with the current law. One, it's going to take a whole year until they will actually do it and until it will actually protect women. And second, they gave a limit of 300 women a year
300
that can ask for this for the bracelet. And as I said, we have 10,000 restraining order a year, and 1,000 in shelters. So it means that the judge, it's like Solomon trial. He needs to choose which women should I give the protection. We call the government that they should give this restraining electronic device by the judge opinion. He sees the evidence, he sees the issue, and he should choose if we should put it or not on the predator, and not by a limit of 300, only 300 of these. It's
what was the argument here for putting a limit? Was there a clear argument put forward for why they should limit it to such a small number?
They want to try it, and they're also very afraid of false complaint.
Yeah, that does seem to be a main concern. And I want to just say this right now: we sought supporters of this final version, members of the Ministry of National Security's office, unavailable to come on the program right now to sort of explain why these pieces were in there. So look, it feels like a major loophole, a major issue as for the people who are seeking this protection right now, that it's so limited. Does this, in other words, you don't expect this to have much impact, it sounds like?
First of all, this law is very important. It has a huge impact. You'll have 200 to 300 women a year that will be protected and will be free, and they won't have to go to shelter to hide. The victim will be free. And the attacker, it's also good for him, because sometimes they say they're accused with no real reason. So now they can prove, because they have electronic proof if they broke the restraining order or not. So it's good for everyone. And all the ministries and the police and the welfare and organizations like us, all the professionals say this is blessed and it's very good, and we are all excited for this day. But we need to make it better. And the fact that we have only 300 a year, I believe it's mainly political, because the professionals say we should have more, we should have a number that it's like the reality. The reality is around 10,000 women a year, and I say
Lili, I want to give you a chance to explain about, look, Michal Sela. I mean, she was brutally murdered. It was October of 2019 by her husband. You know, and I understand the Michal Sela Forum. This was founded in her name's sake. Can you just tell our viewers a bit about, you know, the Michal Sela Forum and what you do?
Until 2019, my young sister Michal Sela, she was 32 years old, a social worker. She was murdered in her own home by her husband, her baby daughter breastfeeding. She was there in the house. After it happened, 6 months after that, I built Michal Sela Forum. It's an NGO, and our goal is to prevent domestic violence and femicide with technology and innovation. This is technology. Israel is the startup nation. Israel is very strong with combating terror, and we know to do prediction, and we know to prevent something very bad from happening. But if you look at the domestic violence world, where it was until my sister died, you see that 95% of the budget goes to after something very bad happened, which means taking care of the victims, like shelters or therapy or restraining orders. And we are saying, let's see what we can do to prevent it before it happens, to do prediction. And we have collaboration with the high-tech industry, like Google. Google is one of our biggest partners, and with the Homeland Security experts. And we think outside the box, and we build innovative solutions to save lives of women in their own home. And our goal is 0 femicide per year.
I know you get good support from communities around the world as well, and I hope many of those watching here today decide to support your organization as well, the Michal Sela Forum. I wasn't aware of the close connection there, your sister being Michal herself. So thank you for joining, having the fortitude to carry on this mission. As we say, kol hakavod, keep up the good work here in Israel. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you very much. Together we can save lives.